Hi, I'm David Daniels from Chick Publications. In August of 2000, I had just dismissed my last bilingual kindergarten student, matching him with his mother. It was time to take a month off from teaching because we were a year-round elementary school. I closed the door. Then I heard a voice. Go to Chick Publications at 3 o'clock. I got on my phone. I called my wife, Deborah. The Lord just told me to go to Chick Publications at 3 o'clock. Well then, I think you'd better go to Chick Publications at 3 o'clock. My wife is very reasonable that way. At home, I really thought about the time. I prayed again. I heard, be there by 3:30. I took right off at 3 o'clock. As I turned off of Arrow onto Archibald Avenue, I said, Lord, what's he going to do? Offer me a job? When I parked, I checked my watch. I had arrived at 3:19. Perfect. I went to the front store and stood there. I thought, I'm here. Now what? The sign on the inner door says, please do not enter unless invited. I had not been invited. Then Donna Eubanks, former Sister Superior who was a staff member, saw me. David, come on back. Well, I was invited. I walked into the graphic arts room. Lots of people were in there working. Donna's desk was in the middle. We hadn't said a word when, David, come into my office. I want to talk with you. It was Jack Chick. The rest is history. Many of you know this story. I've asked many believers, what would have happened if I had said, God doesn't do that. That doesn't fit my theology. Then I would have missed out on the most wonderful 16 years with Jack, writing over 100 tracks and counting, writing 17 books and editing more. But there's another lesson to be learned that affects us all today. What if I didn't listen at first, then finally at the last minute decided to go? What if I rushed over to Chick, but it was 3:35 when I got there? I could have walked in the front. Donna Eubanks could have seen me. She could have said, David, come on back. All that could have been the same. But one thing would have been different. Jack would not have been there. One of the many things I found out later, and some after Jack went to heaven 16 years later, was that Jack had a habit of leaving at, you guessed it, 3:30 each day. He was pretty close to clockwork when he arrived and when he left. There's more. It turns out that when Donna called my name, lifting up her voice, Jack could hear it through the wall. That's how he knew I was here. And after he went to heaven, his wife told me that she had been the one who said to Jack, you should get David to work with you. Do you see how all that came together? Jack's wife, you should get David. Jack in the office, he hasn't gone home yet, but almost. Donna sees me, not speaks, but calls out my name. Jack hears my name, he knows I'm here. Jack finds me by Donna and says, David, come into my office. I want to talk to you. Bam! There was a tiny window of opportunity, and thank God I took it. But I don't always take the window of opportunity that God gives. I told you in the previous video about the guy at Costco Gas. What I didn't tell you was that I missed it the first time. I was putting the nozzle into my car, and he walked right by, and I thought, oh man, I didn't give him a tract. And then I prayed, Father, if you want me to give him a tract, please bring him back. And he did. That's how I got to talk to him about Marilyn and how she gave tracts and here's one for you, the whole thing. God was merciful that time. but he really wants us to be open to his windows of opportunity. How do we put this into action? When I am at the drive-thru, I have to really pay attention. If the boss is there with a server, it's a no-go. They cannot be distracted. It may get them into trouble. It's not one-on-one. So, when they're by themselves, here are some suggestions. 1, pray in advance which tract to give and already have it on your lap or somewhere you can grab it an instant. 2, give it when you pay. Put the money or card on top of it. That's one option. 3, give it when they hand you back your card or your change. I like that one. It makes you able to say thank you and here's something for you. Or something to read on your break. Something like that. 4, give it at the last second before you drive off. Remember, your goal isn't to argue or anything. You just want to give them a chance. That tract is their chance. Give them a chance. When I'm at a supermarket, they are often in a hurry. Bam! They help you, they hand you your receipt, and they're off to the next customer. So I have to try to have the tract ready in my hand before I pay. When they hand the receipt, with my other hand, I hand them a tract. Thank you so much. Be sure to say thank you or another actual compliment when you hand out a tract. 1, people don't get appreciated enough. 2, it's always good to look for good things to compliment about, not bad things to complain about. 3, it's harder to refuse a gift when you've just given a nice or been given a nice compliment. That's enough for now. I hope I've shown you how to not confront, but give them a chance to learn about how they can get their sins forgiven and receive eternal life. So what are you waiting for? Go for it. And remember to stock up on gospel tracts before you go out. Esther 4:14. And who knoweth whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this? As for me, Chick tracts. Don't leave home without them. God bless you and have a wonderful day.